Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to another episode of the Manifesting Muslimah Ramadan series, Aligning with Allah. I like how I said that, Ramadan. Did you like that little rolling R? Anyway, today we are going to be talking about why practicing Islam is not the same as knowing Allah. That they're not necessarily connected to each other in that way. You can have one without having the other. Okay, and why it's important not just to focus on the practical aspects of Islam, but also like to have both. You know, you need to also have the intimate relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if you would like to deepen the practices as well. Okay. Now, before I get into what I'm about to say, because I know that sometimes I can say things and it can sound a bit unfortunate, okay? Because I don't have a script, I just speak off the cuff. And so sometimes I can say things and then be like, oh, that sounded a little bit unfortunate, okay? I like this about what I do. Okay, and I assume if you're here and you're listening to this series, you also like more of a conversational podcast, because otherwise you wouldn't be listening to me. So, that being said, I feel like I need to put this disclaimer in case I accidentally say something now that can sound in a specific way, that in no way, shape or form, regardless of what I say in this episode, do I mean that you need to stop practicing your salah or something simply because you still work on your relationship with Allah. Like, that's not what I'm going to say. That is not what I mean. And if I say that in an unfortunate way and it sounds like that, that's not what I mean. Okay. What I'm asking for is grace. I'm asking you for your grace because I know that sometimes I can say things and it can sound strange. But I just want to make it very clear that in no way, shape or form, in this episode, does any of what I'm about to say mean that I want you to stop doing something if you don't have a relationship with Allah first? Okay, good. We're on the same page. You got me, I got you. Good girl. Let's go for this. Okay, so when we're practicing Islam without a relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Islam can feel heavy. It can feel like a chore. We might not feel excited about coming to prayer. We might not feel excited about fasting. We might not feel excited about the hijab. Things can feel heavy. It can feel empty. It can feel like a part of our to-do list. It can feel more sort of like I just got to get this done because I have to, not because I want to. And that can make being a Muslim, practicing Islam, very heavy. It can make it very uncomfortable even, and something that we just don't find a lot of enjoyment in. And the difference is that when we have Allah, when we have this intimate relationship with Allah and this deep connection with Allah, now, while you might not always run to prayer with glee and excitement, and you may, like myself, who I would like to think that I have a pretty strong relationship with Allah, I still don't necessarily enjoy Ramadan. If this is news to you, go check out my Substack. I wrote a whole essay on it over there. But so we're not going to get into that point now. But it's not that every element of being a practicing Muslim is going to be fun and enjoyment and so easy, but it's easier to still do it, to still follow through, because your relationship with Allah is a part of it. You know that relationship with Allah gets stronger. You want to show up for Him because you love Allah from a personal, deeply intimate place. You are like, I'm so in love with Allah in a way that I don't want to disappoint Him. I want to make Him happy. I want to fulfill His commandments. I want to show Him my devotion and my surrender and my submission and my everything. And so it's easier now to come to these elements of the practical parts of being a Muslim. Now, when we don't have this relationship, again, we don't necessarily have that as the drive, as the motivation on the days when we're struggling, when we're going through perhaps a very depressive time, a very difficult testing time. it may feel more difficult for us to find that kind of drive and motivation to wake up in the middle of the night to pray Fajr. It might feel more difficult and disconnected for us when we're even doing it. So we might not have a problem with actually getting ourselves onto the prayer mat or doing our wudu, but when we're doing it, we might not have this khushu', we might not be present, we might not feel that connectedness because it's going through motions. We're just doing what we've been told to do instead of having this energy of showing up for your friend, having this energy of being present and having one of the most meaningful, if not the most meaningful conversations that you can have with your friend. It's like, I want to liken it to being married to someone and never saying I love you to that person. You know, in a relationship with Allah, the salah, for instance, can be a way of us manifesting that, you know, I love you to Allah. See, I love you, I'm praying for you, because I can say I love you to Allah, but He's already said, if you love me, you do this, right? And so that is the manifestation of I love you to Allah in a relationship with Allah. Putting on the hijab could be the same. Fasting for Ramadan could be the same. Paying your zakat could be the same. Or avoiding alcohol can be the same. Avoiding sex before marriage can be the same. But when we're actually following through on the commandments from a place of wanting to show Allah, I love you. And that doesn't necessarily exist if the connection with Allah isn't there. It is just a thing we do because we feel like we have to do it. Again, it becomes a chore. And so it removes a lot of the enjoyment we can have, the amount of value that we can personally benefit from when we're doing these things, when we are engaging in these commandments, when we are engaging in salah and all of these other things. Okay, when the connection is lacking and we are praying, again, it can feel empty. And it's not necessarily because we don't want to get to know Allah. It's because we think that the salah alone is going to give us that connection. When in reality, the connection kind of exists, part of it in the salah, but a lot of it outside of salah as well. It is the way you carry yourself everywhere, not just in salah. I can't remember who I said this to, but it's almost the difference is like, and I know I'm using the salah as the example here a lot, but use it for anything else in Islam as well. But I'm just for right now using it as the salah as the example. But it's almost, when you don't have the connection with Allah, it's almost as if you only have the connection when you're on your prayer mat, and then when you exit, it's like it's severing the connection. And then you live your life, and then when the next salah, then you come in and you have this connection and relationship with Allah. And then when you get again say Salaam Alaikum and finish your prayer and get up from the prayer mat, the connection is severed again. Where knowing Allah and having this connection with Allah that is just one place that I have a connection with Allah. That is just where I tell Him that I love Him and I show Him my love. One of the places that I show Him my love. But He's with me also when I leave the prayer mat, and He's with me, guiding me in everything that I do throughout my day. He's with me when I make decisions. He's with me when I choose to abstain, when I choose to do something, when I choose to go to sleep, or when I choose to whatever, anything that I do, He's with me all the time. So the difference between worshipping without having this relationship with Allah versus worshipping with Allah is that it is not just about the physical practices. It's about everything. It's everything. I can connect with Allah anytime, not just when I'm doing dhikr, or in a state of wudu, or in my salah, or in my prayer mat, or when I'm facing the Kaaba, Mecca, Kaaba, whatever. Choose however you want to say it, right? You can be consistent in your worship praying, doing dhikr, fasting, covering up, praying, paying your zakat, giving to charity, and still feel disconnected if you don't have that relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The intimacy of knowing Allah means that even if for whatever reason you go a day or two without being in the physical practical elements of your prayer, that you will still feel connected, that you will still have a relationship with Allah, that you still feel that you can come to Allah and communicate with Allah, because it's not only based on being on the prayer mat, it is also outside of the prayer mat. Again, I hope that it makes sense the way that I'm trying to explain it to you. I can understand and appreciate that it can feel difficult to accept this as a premise, because many of us have come to understand that if I need to speak to Allah, I need to come to Salah. If I want something from Allah, it has to be in Salah first. Like a lot of the way that many of us have been taught it is that if you're not praying, then you're not a Muslim. And fair enough, we're not even going to delve into that, okay? But the point is that anybody can pray. You can not believe in Allah and still go through the motions of praying a Salah. Many people do. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they will have a better relationship with Allah simply because they're praying, because their heart's not in it. So the point of it is that while you can be consistent in all of these things, if you still feel disconnected, it's not because you necessarily need to pray harder or pray more or pay more zakat or anything like that. Maybe it's because you need to appreciate that your relationship with Allah needs to extend itself beyond your Salah, beyond Ramadan, beyond any of these things, and that it needs to be with you all the time. Allah needs to be with you all the time, and not just in these practical elements of your religion. I hope that made sense. I hope I could explain it in a way where, again, it's not to say stop praying, stop doing anything. Astaghfirullah. Please don't take that away from this episode. But it is to say that if you're feeling disconnected, perhaps it's not that you need to delve further into the Salah. Perhaps it's that you need to delve further into your relationship with Allah so that your Salah becomes more meaningful for you. Okay? All right, my darling. That is all I have for you today. I will see you, inshallah, in tomorrow's episode. Please don't forget to share, rate, all that good stuff, however it goes on this podcast, wherever you're listening, whether it be YouTube or Spotify or Apple or whatever. And I will see you, inshallah, in tomorrow's episode. But until then, my darling friend, please don't forget to live in love.